Today. Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam. Boleh dengar saya?
Ya, dengar.
Oh, okey. Oh, ini yang punya Fazlina. Duduk WhatsApp tak nampak orang ni, baru nampak orang ni. Kita, so macam mana program dia? Apa ni? How is the procedure like? Macam mana dia punya tu?
So,
ada
saya...
you akan introduce saya, lepas tu dia share saya lah.
Saya introduce Prof, nanti saya serahkan pada Prof lah.
Lepas tu, tapi takkan saya nak membebel 2 jam kan? Satu jam setengahnya, lepas tu dia orang nak tanya soalan ke, boleh lah kan?
Boleh kita buka Q&A.
Q&A lah. So saya akan ambil dalam lepas 1 jam setengah tu, kena ingatkan saya lah, takut saya bila dah membebel ni kan tak berhenti.
InsyaAllah. So, boleh kita start apa?
Boleh, sound system okey tak? Boleh dengar clear tak?
Dengar clear.
Ya? Okey atau kuat lagi? Nak okey? Dah okey dah? Testing 1, 2, 3, okey?
Kalau dekat saya ni okey.
Okey?
Ya.
Kalau kat you okey, that means kat orang lain okey lah kot?
Ya, hopefully okey.
Loud and clear. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Prof Rosna. Aduh, saja kau tutup apa ni video ya, kalau letak gambar aje.
Welcome to UUM. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure, Prof. Thank you for inviting me. Aduh.
Okay. So, kita start ya, Prof?
Boleh.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Okay, on behalf of University Teaching and Learning Center UTLC, I would like to welcome everyone to our online training titled Effective Communication for Leaders. So it is with great pleasure that we have Prof Khaeruddin Sudharmin with us today. Thank you, Prof, for spending your time with us.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, Prof Khaeruddin Sudharmin, Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, FCILT. He's a Chairman, Exam Board and Advisor Next Gen Young Professionals, YPCILT Malaysia, Global Advisory Council IIRM ACS, Global Adjunct Fellow AIMSMET, Adjunct Professor, Faculty of Technology and Business, Unitar International University, Member Board of Postgraduate Studies DBA Program, Faculty of Economics and Accounting UNIMAS, Visiting Professor, Faculty of Business, DRB Highcom Automotive University of Malaysia, Senior Research Fellow, School of Management Asia E University, Advisory Board of Oya JSB UUM, and he's also recipient Asia HRD Award Jakarta 2013 and Best Blue Ocean CEO Award Bali 2011. Prof Khaeruddin has more than 40 years of depth, width and breadth of corporate, GLCs and academic and development experience in industries ranging from unit trust, fund management, transportation and logistics, hospitality, education, conventional insurance and takaful, university and investment cooperatives to global automotive repair industries. So without further ado, I would like to pass this session to Prof. Khaeruddin. So Prof, this session is yours.
Terima kasih Mazli. Aduh. Ni masalah ni. I'm supposed to share with you effective communication for leaders. Now when I saw the program, rupanya it's mostly for your senior people dekat UUM kan? Mazlina?
Yang leaders, Prof.
Yang ni je?
Ya.
Yalah, saya tengok tadi the list of participant tadi ramai maknanya academics lah tu. So this I would imagine future leaders lah. Setengah tu macam Prof Rosna dah jadi TNC pun kan. So dia sebenarnya nak dengar lah kan apa benda on communication dan sebagainya. I'm sure she has her own style kan. Betul tak? Prof Rosna saja saya nak nak bagi
ini saja duduk bersama sebab saya sebagai membantu UTLC moral support to our young leaders.
Okay, cantik. Okay. So what I am going to do in the next an hour and a half or so is just go through bagi the big picture about communication, because bila saya Google, when I Google and look at communication, there are all kinds of model, there are all kinds of perspectives, different people have got different styles, dan sebagainya. So what I will try to do is to go through quickly. So I will use basically one or two model. Number one, I will use Maxwell's model from his book. Everyone communicate and few connect. Okay, sama kalau nak tahu dia, I won't go into the technical detail. Nanti ada yang boring nanti. Mana yang seronok yang suka tu can go and get a copy of the book. And the other one is I will go through Emma Sherlin, which I picked up on my way back daripada Egypt dulu dekat airport. Yeah, very interesting book. Okay, we will go through that in a short while. And then lepas tu, I will talk about communication, more about my own experiences when I was in the industry, when I was MD, when I was on the boards, and what do you mean by communication, and what is it that is effective, or what is it that is not effective. Maknanya you have a meeting nanti kan, you bercakap kan, sedap macam bagus, you rasa bagus, tapi everybody doesn't listen to you, and everybody is all very nicely falling asleep. Mata terbuka tapi dia tidur. So we want to make sure that later on when you become Night Chancellor ke timbalan Night Chancellor, you orang tengok aja orang dah takut. So maknanya you punya aura tu dahsyat. Okay. Macam mana saya nak sharekan slide ni, Mas Fadlina? Can I share my slides Boleh? Kejap ya.
Mute. Boleh share screen?
Boleh.
Ya.
Mana pula I punya tadi? Tak nampak pun dalam ni.
Ada share screen kat bawah.
I kena buka dulu kan?
Ya.
Tak ada pun dalam skrin ni, Prof.
Ada.
Nampak tak?
Ada button share screen kat bawah, Prof.
Ada. Dia kata tulis share, tapi dalam desktop tu, is it the desktop?
Ada dekat bawah tu, dia yang warna hijau tu.
Okay. Ada dah? Nampak tak?
Tak keluar screen pun.
Pasal...
Tak keluar screen, Prof.
Tak keluar screen?
Ya.
Ada video ni. Saya nak start dengan video dulu. Cuba saya ni. You are screen sharing ni, tak ada nampak hitam hitam. Nampak hitam tak? Okay.
Hitam.
Okay, cantik. Hitam tu maknanya betul lah tu. Dengar tak?
Ya, okay, Prof, clear.
Is the country willing to pay for it? FAA just issued a critical alert. The entire network went down. Transportation system's crashing, and they just hit the entire financial sector. You have no idea who you're dealing with. I'll take it for you.
Itu dia. Itu saya punya apa ni? Selalu opening apa tu video. I showed that in so many places all over the world, dekat Switzerland, dekat London when I was speaking at the Takaful Summit. So, you tahu lah kan, petang-petang kan, orang dah ngantuk kan, pukul 2:30, how do you wake them up? So, these are all very subtle, salient forms of effective communication. And as what John Maxwell is talking about, everyone communicates, few connect. The important thing is whether you can connect with people or not. And I always remember what Tom Peters always says, always reminds. Dia kata, whenever you are dealing with an audience, with a group, especially your students in class, okay, you only have 15 minutes window, okay, to have that wow effect. If you miss that 15 window, okay, that's it. So I'm sure, I'm sure most of you are teachers, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, ni my favorite again. Saya nak minta maaf dulu siang-siang. If apa ni, because dunia dah berubah, I am still in the old school kan. Saya nak minta ampun. Seandainya ada slide saya ni, if any of the things that I share with you may look a little bit gender biased ke atau racist ke, saya minta maaf because as far as I'm concerned, I belong to the old school, so we are quite used to all this kind of thing. Tapi kalau sekarang ni, mungkin orang sekarang ni do not take it very kindly to that. So saya cang kalau ada apa yang intimidating dan sebagainya, saya minta ampun dulu awal-awal. Okay. So what I'll do is in the next 1.5 hours, I will take the miniskirt approach, basically, short enough to attract your attention. Long enough to cover the bare essentials. Itu dia. Saya punya favorite opening remark mana-mana saya nak bercakap pun. Okay. Okay. Now, this is another one. I shared this the last time I was speaking at the International Economics Conference dekat UMS. I think last year it was in September 2019. I started out with this. I asked a friend of mine what he is doing. He told me he is working on aqua thermal treatment of ceramics, aluminium and steel under a constrained environment. So nampak apa tu macam technical sangat. Nampak macam memang power, dia macam saintis dia bercakap. Aqua thermal treatment of ceramics, aluminium and steel under a constrained environment. Saya nak minta maaf lagi nanti kan netizen, orang perempuan nanti kan melompat marah saya. So sebenarnya okay, I was impressed. Upon further asking, I learned that he was actually washing dishes with hot water under his wife's supervision. Okay. Oops. Okay. Now, let's move on. So I'm watching my time also, while I'm going through the slides with you. Everyone communicates, few connect, John C. Maxwell. Okay, I just remembered that the last time I used John Maxwell was I think it was in 2014 at ADC. I remember at that time there was a program, I was doing that whole day program dengan arwah Prof Ajay. So we were using Maxwell juga, 360 degrees leadership. So saya dengan another Mak Saleh tu, nama Melayu dia Pak Azlan. Dr. Azlan, saya lupa nama Mak Saleh dia. Dr. Something Peters. Okay. So arwah Prof Ajay, me and Dr. Peters. And I remembered there were also participants from 2 universities from southern Thailand. So I'm not sure whether some of you yang sama kita hari ni were in that group That was in 2014. Okay, let me move on. Okay, now everyone communicates, few connect. Okay, basically it has two components. So he talks about the principles and he talks about the practice. Okay, the principles are 5. Connecting increases your influence in every situation. Connecting is all about others. Connecting goes beyond words. Connecting always requires energy. And connecting is more skill than natural talent. Okay. And the practice pula. Connectors connect on a common ground. Connectors do the difficult work of keeping it simple. Connectors create an experience everyone enjoys. Connectors inspire people. And connectors live what they communicate. Okay, let's look at the principles again, okay, so that we can remember. So what are the principles again? Increases your influence, the first principle. And connecting is all about others, okay? Your influence, others, goes beyond words, always require energy, is more skill than natural talent. Okay, saya saja nak ulang ni sudah enough. At least kalau you tak ingat pun, you ingat a few of the principles tu, okay, I'm alright. You apa ni? At least ada one or two that you remember. Apa yang Prof K duk cakap ni, membebel dekat dalam online ni kan? Ni, dia cakap principle 1 ni, apa ni, John Maxwell ni, connecting or communicating increases your influence in every situation. Principle 2, connecting is all about others. Principle 3, connecting goes beyond words. Principle 4, connecting always require energy. Okay. And principle 5, connecting is more skill than natural talent. So you can develop your skill. So you don't have to have natural talent. Sebab masa saya kecil-kecil dulu pun, saya gagap. Okay, cakap juga gagap. Tapi sekarang ni saya ingat saya membebel bercakap all over the world dan tak berhenti-berhenti bercakap. Saya baru aja habis kelas. I just finished a postgraduate online program with UniKL Institute of Postgraduate Studies. I was teaching them technology, innovation and entrepreneurship. Letih tak hilang lagi. Baru aja tengok project dia orang, baru aja tengok assignment dia orang and dah submit dah pun. Okay. Okay. Now, connecting increases your influence. Yeah. Saya akan pilih sikit-sikit and I think that's important and then share with you. Connecting increases your influence in every situation. It's not enough to just work hard, okay? It's not enough to do a great job. To be successful, you need to learn and how to really communicate with others. Connecting is the ability to identify with people and relate to them in a way that increases your influence with them. Okay? Communicate with others. Kadang-kadang some people don't have to communicate. Orang tengok muka dia, dia dah tahu lah. Aura dia tu kuat. You just have to look at his face, they know already. Okay? What he or she wants and what you need to do. Now, the number 1 criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is an ability to communicate effectively. Of course, who would have said it better? Except for the Harvard Business Review. Okay? Nanti ada orang marah. Saya ni asyik sebut bagi reference Harvard je. Kenapa tak bagi reference UUM kan? UUM pun believe this because UUM is University Pengurusan Ulung Malaysia. You punya apa punchline? What is your punchline? Is the number 1 management university in the country, or maybe in Asia now. Okay. Now, I just want to share you this again from the book. The performance of 16,000 executives showed a direct correlation between achievement, and the ability to care for and connect with people. That was done by J. Hall of Teleometrics, a consulting firm. Okay, here are a few of his findings. Okay, high achievers. So what do you mean by high achievers? So high achievers are those that care about people as well as profits. View subordinates optimistically. Seek advice from those under them and listen well to everyone. So these are the high achievers. So these are the traits, okay? Based on their survey, based on their finding, apparently they came to a conclusion that, okay, high achievers will exhibit this kind of behavior. Now, average achievers concentrate on production, focus more on their own status, are reluctant to seek advice from those under them, listen only to superiors. Okay? And the lower achievers, preoccupied with their own security, show a basic distrust to subordinates, don't seek advice, avoid communication, and rely on policy manuals. Okay, after having seen what is a high achiever, what is an average achiever, what is a low achiever, look at yourself and see you come under which category. Do you listen well to everyone? Do you listen only to your boss? Or do you avoid talking to anybody, okay, and rely only on policy manual? Okay. I've seen in my 40 years, okay, I've seen many types of people. Until afterwards, I will we'll come to a slide, then I will describe to you what that means, okay, and the different kinds of people there are in organizations. Basically, there are only two kinds of people. Tak apa. I will not preempt that. Nanti when we come to that slide nanti, saya akan ceritakan. Okay. Okay, let's quickly. Belum apa-apa lagi dah break ni. Okay. Okay. Ni siapa ni? Iced tea, okay. Two girls ate dinner together. They both ordered iced tea. One girl drank them very fast and had finished 5 in the time it took the other to drink just 1. The girl who drank 1 died while the other survived. All of the drinks were poison. Okay, saya nak tanya. How did the girl who drank the most survive? Anyone? Siapa-siapa tahu jawapan? I had the same take a break ni puzzle ni with my DBA students, I think 2 years ago dekat IBS UTM. Okay. Lama tu baru seorang foreigner dapat jawab. Anyone? Anyone would try? Would like to try? Prof Rosna? Ke tak ada situ? Nadira? Ada?
Panggillah adik kita mencuba.
Okay. Kita minta adik kita mencuba. Ni, Nadira. Apa dia? Tak siapa lagi lain? Fadlina? Anyone? Ke pagi-pagi tak pagi dah pun. Dah 10-20 dah pun. Who's got the answer?
Prof K.
Yeah.
Picture here. Maybe the one who drank fast had natural immunity.
Oh, hey, it's good to hear you, Victor. Oh my God, you're here.
I'm enjoying your session.
Thank you. Okay.
Boleh saya cuba?
Boleh. Siapa nak cuba? Siapa ni? Siapa ni? Syaidah. Okay, apa dia?
Saya rasa sebab saya pernah buat kuis dulu dia dalam racun tu ada dalam ais tu. Jadi yang minum cepat ais tu belum sempat cair.
Pandai. Let's give all a big betul. Tu jawab dia. The poison was in the ice. Well done, Syaidah. Okay. To the first. Ada a few more ni. Sebelum kita habiskan, kita ada a few more puzzles. But anyway, let's move on. Kalau tidak kan tak sempat. Okay. Practice. Okay. Practice, there are 5. Connectors or communicators connect on common ground. Connectors do the difficult work of keeping it simple. Connectors create an experience everyone enjoys. Connectors inspire people. And connectors live what they communicate. So when we talk just now, we were looking at the principles. Now we're looking at the practice, as John Maxwell tells us. So practice, connect, do, create, inspire, live. Let's move on. Okay. As usual, I wanted to reinforce it. Okay. Connectors connect on common ground. That's practice 1. Practice 2. Connectors do the difficult work of keeping it simple. Practice 3, connectors create an experience everyone enjoys. Practice 4, connectors inspire people. And practice 5, connectors live what they communicate. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my favorite photograph. My 3 guiding principles that I communicated with my team when I was MDCO. This is to share the real thing of how I communicate. Okay, must have, this is my favorite until today. It is must have, good to have, nice to have, especially when you become leaders later on and become like chancellor, and then just to share with you in one occasion when I was before I retired. Okay, one of my guys, the IT guy, gave a presentation for a request for acquiring a new asset. This is very useful approach, especially when people request for buying new assets. So after he made a wonderful presentation, Q was his name, and she said, Q, I said, yeah, boss. How long have you been with me? I said, 6 years, boss. So you know, isn't it? My style of when I look at a proposal, when I make my decision, I will base on these 3 things, right? Must have, good to have, nice to have. Yes, boss. He said. Now tell me, Q, if I don't approve your proposal, will we close shop next week? He said, no, lah, boss. And then we all had a good laugh. Then I said, okay, I tell you what, my figures look good. I just had a board meeting, and the board is, I've already told them this is our figure, and they look nice. So, saya tak mau kacau itu figure. Can we wait? We have only about like 1 or 2 months more before we go into the new financial year, and let's not kacau the budget. I'm okay with this. I like this actually, but we will use next year's budget. Can that be okay? So in that way, and when it comes at the end of the year, when I do my presentation, our performance, our budget, tak kacau. And you see, and they all like it. So just to share with you a simple illustration about simple how you communicate with your team. Okay, let's move on. Okay, again, that's why in the beginning I already apologize. If some of my jokes or some of my anecdotes, the ladies might find offensive. Saya minta ampun. Okay, this was told to me by a friend of mine who is in the finance industry in Jakarta. I forgot about it, and then about 2 days ago, I WhatsApp him. Hey, Baba, what was the 3 ladies that you told me that must never be allowed to be present or to be around during any meetings? So he WhatsApp me and told me, okay, the 3 ladies that must never be allowed to be around during meetings are number 1, Mona, number 2, Donna, and number 3, Fiona. Mona, meetings only, no action. Donna, discuss only, no action. And Fiona, fantastic ideas only, no action. In fact, just a couple of days ago, few of my friends, when I told them sometime back they forgot about it, they still ask me. Yeah, it's meant to be fun, but it's not meant to, I know today there's a lot of, awareness about gender bias, about racism, all those kind of things. So again, my apologies, yeah. Now, again, sorry. This one again, I'm sorry if it's a bit offensive. Balance sheets are like bikinis. What is revealed is exciting. What is hidden is even more dangerous. In fact, I should change it. Communications are also like bikinis. What is said is exciting, but what is hidden is even more dangerous. Why I use this all the time is because it's very interesting. It's very interesting because sometimes, if you want to teach finance to students who have no idea at all what we're talking about, and then suddenly introduce this concept of balance sheet. Okay? And to them, the balance sheet, you can't just be following the textbook and saying, okay, a balance sheet is basically 2 things. Okay, one is the asset and one is the liability. So they cannot visualize. So parable or the anecdote that was used in the earlier slide, so that enables them to quickly visualize and they begin to see the picture. Oh, so and among you, I'm sure those of you who are accountants, or finance guys, who are really good in your field would know. Okay, I have friends, who have been approached to become directors of companies, and those who understand balance sheet. That's the first thing they ask. Excuse me, do you mind? Can I have a look at your accounts, especially your balance sheets in the last 5 years? And I want to see whether there are any encumbrances or not. See, because macam tu lah tadi, the balance sheet, kan? What you see on the balance sheet dah kan nampak cantik, but what is hidden, and the balance sheet is the most wonderful document that you can hide a lot of things. You can hide it under amortization, and then some amount is amortized, but actually 1 million is only for that year, but actually you have already put aside 5 million over 5 years, for example, project cost and blah blah blah. Okay, I won't go to the finance part now. I want to move into this story again. This is again my favorite story, which I tell when I invited for some industry sessions. I will start off the session by telling this cerita tiga bro, or the 3 monkey story. Now, this is how the story goes. There was one chairman who bought ladang kelapa dekat Banting. By the seaside, dia banyak pokok kelapa. So all the pokok kelapa now is very nicely, buah kelapa dah banyak. So he bought that particular ladang. Then he told his PA, the pegawai khas dia, ini pokok kelapa ni buah banyak ni, siapa nak petik? Who's going to pluck all the coconut? Mana ada orang sekarang, payah nak dapat orang. Lepas tu his pegawai khas said, tak apa bos. Ada satu pakcik dekat Kelantan. Dia ni memang pakar cara train, melatih buruk-buruk untuk petik buah kelapa. So chairman cakap, okay jom. So dia orang pun pergi dekat Sky Park, dekat rumah saya ni, dekat Sky Park. Naik apa nama aircraft dah lupa, yang kecil, domestic aircraft. Anyway, dia pergi ke Kota Baru, sampai ke Kota Baru, and then pergi ke kampung tu. Memang betul ada makcik. There is there is a pakcik who is an expert in training monkeys to pluck coconuts. As soon as they arrive, the old man said, "Alah cik, sorry lah cik. Kenapa kata? Semua buruk-buruk yang saya dah latih, those that I've trained, have all been bought. Okay. Yang tinggal ni cuma 3 buruk ni aja. Dalam kandang, and they all about the same size." Then the chairman asked, "So how much is it?" The first cage ni 500. And then the second cage tu 1,000. And then kandang yang ketiga tu 5,000. So the chairman kata, buruk sama aja, same size, kan? Macam mana harga lain-lain? So the old man said, tak cik, skill dia lain. I have trained them differently. The first monkey in the kandang, very basic, fundamental skill. You buka aja kandang, dia akan lari naik panjang buah kelapa, habis semua buah kelapa dia petik. Dengan yang muda, yang tua, yang komeng, semua dia petik. Okay. That's why it's cheap, $500. Dan tengah ni pula, mahal ni 1,000 ni pasal apa? Beruk yang tengah ni, this is special monkey. I have trained him to pluck only kelapa muda. You buka kandang, she will run up to the coconut tree, she will sit among the buah-buah, he will belik-belik sikit, goyang-goyang sikit, baung sikit, macam orang Kelantan kata kan, baung sikit. And then when he's happy with it, and betul-betul memang dia punya kelapa muda yang memang best, dia akan petik, dia akan bawa turun, and then bagi dekat encik. Tak percaya, encik belah buah kelapa muda tu, manis, air banyak, isi pun tebal. Just nice. Itu dia special skill. Yang beruk yang tengah-tengah. Now, beruk yang ketiga ni, ni pasal apa mahal sampai 5,000 ni? So pakcik tu, the old man tu, dia pun tepuk dahi dia cakap, "Cik, mari sekejap. Saya nak bisik sikit." Apa dia? So the chairman, pun pergi dekat pakcik tu, cakap, apa dia kata? And this is what the orang tua tu cakap, the old man cakap, sebenarnya cik, terus teranglah saya nak cakap. Saya pun tak tahu apa sebenarnya skill kemahiran beruk yang nombor 3 ni, yang saya nak jual mahal ni, 5,000 ni. Gitu. Cuma kata yang saya tahu cik, kata, apa ni? Macam mana dia? Beruk kat sebelah ni, 2 ekor ni, panggil dia bos. So kalau siapa-siapa yang tak dapat cerita ni, sekejap lagi dah habis session nanti, boleh ni tanya saya, but I'm sure you can understand the sarcasm behind the story. When I tell this those days during my corporate days, the CEOs, the chairman, the bosses didn't like it. They were smiling. Tapi lepas habis saya cakap tu, they came to me, kata, sempat dia kau, Din. Sempat kau belasah aku ya. Okay, so jangan jadi macam tu ya. Okay, this is again my favorite. Okay, the late Steve Jobs. Whenever he's called onto the stage to make a presentation, whenever he speaks, this is what he always say: I only have 3 stories to tell. That's it. Short, crisp, simple, and the message gets across. Which reminds me of one Tan Sri, okay, who was who was about to receive an honorary doctorate, and I won't mention the name, okay, but I was the one who wrote that acceptance speech, and and he is the sort of person who likes me to write very long speeches, okay, and sampai satu ketika tu Puan Sri marah saya. Dia kata, Khaeruddin, siapa yang tulis panjang? Orang semua dah berlengas, punggung duduk kan. Apa ni dengar speech panjang. Lepas tu kata, dah macam mana Puan Sri? Tan Sri nakkan saya panjang-panjang. Kalau pendek-pendek kan dia marah pula. Betul. Okay, so in this particular occasion, I followed Steve Jobs and I told Tan Sri direct. I said, Tan Sri, the question is you are getting an honorary doctorate, so it is just a thank you speech. So probably you need what 6, 7, at the most 8 minutes to say thank you. So I've changed my approach. I am going to follow Steve Jobs, and I am going to write just the 3 stories. So the 3 stories was, number 1 was I was talking about education, the Washington Accord. Remember the one that we signed in 2004, which allows engineers in any country who are signatory to the Washington Accord to work, in those countries. That's the story number 1. Story number 2 is about the future of universities, IPTE, IPTS, number 3. And then story number 3 about the university itself, okay, what they have done, whether they were in the right direction, and stuff like that. So because kan orang dah bagi honorary doctorate kan, kenalah puji kan, takkan nak belasah pula lagi. So it was just nice. So I was in front there actually listening to that, to what I wrote, okay, and exactly it was about not more than 8 minutes. I think it was 7.5 minutes. Cantik, just nice. Okay, just another example. That's why I showed you this. I only have 3 stories to tell. So later on, when you become leaders yourself, don't forget, okay? Remember Steve Jobs. If you want to give a speech anywhere to your people or anywhere else, just limit to ikut style Steve Jobs, okay? I only have 3 stories to tell. Okay, let me move on. Banyak lagi ni. I think I have about what? Fadina, saya di dalam 200 slide ni. I'm just kidding. Don't worry. Okay. I was talking earlier on about 2 types of people, okay, in any organization. You need to know, because otherwise, how are you going to communicate correctly? Hopeless resignation versus spluttering resistance. These are very philosophical statement. But sebelum tu, there is a story behind it. I think if some of you dah biasa travel dulu, when you were flying, Maaf cerita tu a bit ni dia cerita tu macam I think I lupa nama, something big. It's about about a pigling dia macam animal farm. So one of the episode tu, when the farmer, it was I think Thanksgiving's Day, so the farmer slaughtered one of the female duck by the name of Roseanne and then put it on display on the table, okay, for the Thanksgiving dinner. So that evening, the whole animals in the farm were at the window, at the glass window, watching that kawan dia tu, sahabat dia tu, Roseanne, about to be eaten for Thanksgiving. Okay, now the cow was there, and then boyfriend Roseanne, Ferdinand was also there. So Ferdinand ni, the male duck, was crying with why, it's so cruel, so unfair, so cruel, why must it be her, why not me? Ferdinand tu cakap. So lembu sebelah tu, the cow at the side, tengok dia tu, lepas tu dia pun komen. This is what they comment. Dia kata, Ferdinand, why are you doing all this? Come on, you have to accept the fact that in life, you have to accept things the way they are, said the cow. But the male duck, Ferdinand, looked at him and then replied back, the way things are stinks. The way things are sucks. Okay, the statement made by the cow and the statement made by the duck, philosophically, ni dia. These are the two phrases to describe what these two gentlemen, so to speak, okay, were saying. So what the cow said, the way things, you have to accept the way things, to have a less stressful life and enjoy life. You have to accept the way things are, the way things are. So that philosophically, kita kata the statement is hopeless resignation. Now, the duck, dia kata, the way things are stinks. Okay, the way things are sucks. Oh, dia macam marah sangat. So that philosophically we say spluttering resistance. Okay, now go back into your own organization, wherever you may be. Look at your peers, look at your colleague, and straight away you will know. So to me, okay, maaf cakap to me kan, employees ni basically comes under dua kategori je. One is the hopeless resignation, okay. The other one is spluttering resistance, okay. You can see that for yourself. An example of hopeless resignation ni senang je. You go to somewhere at the counter, cik, teman tanya cik, boleh tak saya nak cari so and so. Dia pun tengah kat komputer tu, dekat pandang muka you pun. Lepas tu kan dia dongak je kan. Tak tahulah cik, saya kerja je kat sini. Itu hopeless resignation punya kategori. Okay. Satu lagi pula, spluttering resistance ni. You promoted somebody, okay, and he or she heard about it. Okay, you're the boss, okay. Dia lari kat bilik you, storm, tak ketuk pun, tolak pintu, dia kata, how come? Why? That fellow got MBA, okay. I tengok tak ada terror mana pun kerja. Saya pun ada MBA. Macam mana saya tak dapat? How come I didn't get the job? Why did he get the job? Okay, dia tak puas hati. Marah ni. Itu dia. That comes under the category of spluttering resistance. Okay. Just to give. So I took this from that book that was written by a Harvard psychologist and the husband who is a Philharmonic Orchestra conductor. The book is called The Art of Possibility. Okay, so kalau siapa-siapa rajin nanti, I'm not sure whether it's still available or not in the bookshop. I gave to a lot of people this book actually. Saya pun suka buku ni. The Art of Possibility. Okay, by Harvard Business Press. Okay, wah, masa berjalan cepat dah lagi 20 minit Dan sampai pukul 11. Okay. Let me move on. Okay. Again, as I was telling you, there are all kinds of communication. Okay. I'm just nanti kan kalau saya tak tunjuk ni kan, nanti my ex right hand woman, because she just couriered me her book. She is one of those people in NLP. Okay. Neuro linguistic programming. Okay. I think this is a book. Maybe I'll show. This is the book that she sent me. She wrote a chapter, Inovasi NLP. Pelonjak dia ni. Okay. Okay. And banyak orang ni dalam ni. So I'm not sure whether they are watching me or not. You have Datuk Prof Aziz, sahabat saya Prof Hassan, Datuk Prof Yusri, TNC Universiti Malaysia Pahang, kemudian Datuk Profesor Jalani, okay, who was formerly VC of Al-Bukhari International University. Now he has gone back to UTM. Dia pun, ni semua ni taiko NLP. Apa ni? So NLP also looks at communication. So quickly, this is their model: internal representation, the state, physiology. I won't go into detail, okay? 5 sensors, million bits of info, external event, filter, general, distort, delete, nampak tu? Okay? Meta programs, value, decision, belief, decision, memories, behavior, what we do. So banyak. So ni the way I look at it ni macam you letak apa ni rocket science lah into what can just be social science. It's a convergence, okay? So saya tak berani cakap lagi because saya bukan coach NLP, but I just wanted to share you the different kinds of communication model available out there. Okay, nampak tu? They call it the Tepa Wheel NLP. Okay, Carl Nielsen, the founder of NLP. Okay, thoughts. Okay, the first T lah, thought. Okay, E, emotion. Lepas tu P, perception. Kemudian A, action. So, thought produces emotion, determines perception, lead to action, and confirms your thought. Okay, knowledge sets you free. NLP is state management. NLP operates new perspective. Okay, NLP is behavioral flexibility. Who has the remote control for you? What controls your life? So okay, some of you, I'm sure among the audience ada yang dah NLP coach expert ni, okay? So let me move on. Okay. Kita tengok apa ni second puzzle pula. A woman shoots her husband, then holds him underwater for 5 minutes. A little while later, they both go out and enjoy a wonderful dinner together. How can this be? Okay, siapa boleh jawab? Anyone? Idia, Syahida?
Husband diabetic.
Macam mana?
Husband diabetic, tak ada kencing manis.
No. A woman shoot her husband then hold him underwater 5 minutes. Macam mana Ashraf? Husband tu diabetic. What on earth gave you the idea that dia diabetic?
Kan dah orang yang ada kencing manis kan they have to shoot up every now and then, right?
Ya ke?
Kencing manis dia kena shoot up. Like my sister-in-law, very bad diabetic. They need to shoot up some sort of insulin, right? Or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah.
Ashraf, you associate professor ke? Full professor?
I'm just a normal person, Prof.
Okay. Okay. Tak, because bila dia jawab tu dia kata, you know what I was going to say?
Yep.
You lurus lah.
Lurus.
Ini boleh buat business partner. Lurus. Memang confirm you tak tipu orang ni. Anyone else?
Siratul mustaqim.
Thank you Ashraf, but good try. Anyone else would like to try? Victor, you want to try? Victor, are you there? Or you've gone to sleep?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm confused. But good story. I'm only here to answer. Good one.
Anyone? Sebelum saya bagi jawab.
Prof, maybe the wife shot the husband with a water pistol lah.
Okay. I see that your brain cells are working. You are
Yeah.
moving.
You're such an enjoyable person to listen to, you know.
Thank you. This set of puzzles were actually in some of my DBA slides, as I said 2 years ago, and this was the good work of one of my mentee. She has very nicely, kindly, inserted all this. I'd like to thank her.
Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Anyone? So now anyone? But Victor, you are close to the answer. I'm about to give the answer. Anyone else? With the clue that my friend brother Victor Fu has open up, dia buka jalan sikit tu. It's quite close to the correct answer. Anyway, Victor, Dato' Prof Zawawi sends his regard. I didn't know
yes. He contacted me.
You were classmates at VI.
Yeah, that's correct. 3 of us must have a teh tarik lah.
Yeah, I think so. We must. I told him. We should get together. I have not teh tarik with him quite some time. So.
Yes, I know. Okay. Same here.
Right. So apa ni? Anyone else with the answer? Tak ada, saya bagi jawapan Senang je jawapan. Jangan marah saya. Ni jawapan dia. Nampak? She shot her husband with the camera and then developed the photo. So, Victor, you were quite close with the water pistol.
Good one.
Okay, nampak Ashraf dah tunjuk macam tu. Okay, you can use this nanti. Nak test apa-apa. Okay, let me move on. Okay. Now I go to the other book now. Tadi I'm done with Maxwell. Now I want to take a look at the connection book, which I said I bought this at the airport on my way back after meeting Anak Sunamun and Imhotep and all the Egyptian pharaohs. Okay, she wrote this in 2 this is the book in case some of you would like to get hold of it. I have a whole set of this books. Connection book, the strategy book, macam-macam lagi. Very interesting. Okay. Now, from Brexit to Trump, the communication has clearly never been so influential, continually center stage in influencing our hearts, minds, and the narrative of our civilization. So that's how important communication is. Okay? We are surrounded by the impact of good and bad communication, both in our own lives and on the world stage. We are swayed even against better judgment by persuasive communicators. I like this part. We are swayed even against better judgment, by persuasive communicators. Well, I'm sure you and I know it. Put it another way, we live in an era of fake news. So very persuasive communicators, they tell us this and that, and then we are confused. Betul ke ni? Ya ke ni? Now, our judgment tells us something, but what we see the power of social media. So I think the challenge to communication is even more, how would you call it, enormous now. But don't forget, while the challenge is enormous, the opportunities are also enormous. Only the smart ones who can optimize and gain leverage from technology will move ahead. Since I'm talking about that, let me also share with you before I forget. These days, our little children, toddlers, they were all on iPads, they were all, on smartphones, even my grandchildren, they come, So at one time, after an integrity day at Telecom Malaysia, I remember, I was on the same table. I wanted to sit with somebody at the table, okay? And somebody called me and said, no. At that time, the chairman was Tan Sri Sulaiman Mahbub, your former Deputy Vice Chancellor. He said, panggil to join, so I joined. So then, while I was at the main table over lunch too, I said, Tan Sri, betul tak? Cucu-cucu kita sekarang ni datang rumah, dia bukan nak peluk, sayang tok pa, kan? Then you know what I said, which is exactly what I will say. That, dia nangis datang. Tu apa? Wi-Fi tak ada. So you see, technology has taken over. Okay. And when I see all this is what I said. At one, I had a recent of my Hull, University of Hull alumni. They were talking about technology, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then one of the Masalik came to me and gave them a microphone and asked me for my opinion. Then I said this, and everybody were like got a shock because they didn't think about it. They didn't imagine about it. I said, do you know what we're doing? You know, everything is all online. Everything is, you know, smartphone. Everything is at the tip of your finger. Even our little toddlers. Then I said, remember iPhone? What do you call iRobot? Remember Will Smith? Then I said, unawareingly, you may disagree with me, okay, or agree with me. Unawareingly, we are actually preparing our young, our little ones, our toddlers, to be slaves to future robots. I'm communicating with you now. And see how you read it and how you interpret it. Whether you agree or disagree with me, that's your privilege. Because this is how I see it, and this is what I have a tendency to, what's the word? I wouldn't say believe. I hope it doesn't happen, but I seem to have that foresight. Okay, not farsight, foresight. F-O-R-E-S-I-G-A-T. I seem to have that foresight. Now my brain is telling me, in the future, the people who will survive are the ones who are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not encouraging you to go against the system. You need to follow the system. But in the future, the people who will get around the corner and survive better are the ones who are non-system compliant. Because you know why? Because in the future, everything will be taken over. I mean, you can see it. Many of you must have been attending a lot of this IR 4.0, you know, talking about artificial intelligence, big data, and, you know, algorithms, predictive analytics, you know. They are not the same one that was around 3 years ago. Today, predictive analytics is much more advanced. Artificial intelligence is lagi advanced. And then you have the algorithms and stuff like that. What is even worrying is, which I read, okay, a few days ago, is that now they just found out that robots learn better using light. As you know, isn't it? Like humans, you know, we learn while we sleep. And the robots to learn while they sleep, and they were using electricity, but now no. Now they are using light. So all this while we were thinking that robots, machine learning, are bad at machine learning. No. They are better now than humans at machine learning. So these new discoveries, when I read that, it scares the hell out of me. You know, and okay, since I'm on the subject, I'm sure you know that 60% of the repetitive tasks, okay, manual repetitive tasks globally has already been taken over by robots. Okay, check it out. If you don't believe me, right? Okay, before I forget, let's come back to communication. This book provides simple, usable tools to improve and enrich communication in 5 key areas. So you feel more confident and effective in meetings, presentations, interviews, social situations, and even arguments. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so what are the fundamentals about this book? Again, better vocal charisma. I won't go into the technical details. Better body language, better social skills, better presentations, better meetings, and better arguments. Let's move on. SMART. It's inside the book. Okay, I'm sure you're aware of it, but sometimes we forget about it. Okay, SMART is about what? Being specific, being measurable, being attainable, being relevant, and being timely. So, in terms of communication, you need to adopt the SMART approach. Okay, VUCA. I say this all the time. Before you come to VUCA, I always tell even my students, I said, at the first degree level, we teach students conceptual skills. In other words, when I'm going to recruit someone who have just graduated from university, I'll be looking whether you have many professors ada dalam ni kan. I'll be looking for guys who can exhibit and show me whether their conceptual skills mantap ke tidak, whether they have acquired that skill. Okay. That's those with the first degree. And then when the people with master's degree and come and work with me, I will look out for those who have critical thinking skills. That's very important. Okay, critical thinking skill. I think it's number 6. Okay, in Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, to be able to see things from a different perspective. You have been used to a one way of thinking, one view. But in the same issue, there can be 3 or 4 other views. So I'll give you an example. What is management or leadership? What is right and the way you do it is right today was unheard of 20 years ago. What was right 20 years ago, I mean, not longer be useful, it can be applied today. So that's where critical thinking comes to the fore. Okay. Now, when you have your advanced degree, after still postgraduate, when you have a DBA or your PhD, that's when we look at your wisdom. Okay, wisdom, very important. So in other words, tak payahlah nak bil cakap banyak-banyak kan, nak explain something kan, with 30 page kan. Lepas tu you start talking about the 3-legged stool, conceptual framework, theoretical framework, research framework, blah blah blah. Orang dengar pun. But when you have doctorate, you should be able to, bila buka mulut dia kata ada DBA, bila buka mulut dia they want to hear wisdom. For example, I give you a simple example. When people ask you, what kind of world do we live in now? Okay, senang aja. I will say, we live in a VUCA world. That's it. 4 alphabet. Okay, 4 letters. Describes the world that we live in. Tak payah nak cerita panjang-panjang kan. Berjela-jela. So what is VUCA? I'm sure you all know it. Okay, we live in a volatile world, uncertain world, and complex world, and ambiguous. That's it. 4 letters saja. Okay? Okay. That's concise, precise, brief communication. Okay. Now, since I noticed that this is part of your leadership preparation program. Now, in order for you to prepare future leaders, what kind of traits, what kind of attributes that future leaders need? What should you give them? Okay, my favorite again. We should give them Viagra. I know what you're thinking, but that's not the Viagra that you think. Okay, nampak tu? I've already broken down. V-I-A-G-R-A. So future leaders, we need to make sure that they have the skill, they have the traits. Ni, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6. Cukup. Okay, what is it? Versatile, inspiring, assertive, gung-ho, resourceful, agile. Okay, these are the kind of skills future leaders must have. Otherwise, kirim salam banyak-banyak, they may have problem. Okay, but of course, if you look around, there are a lot of leaders who doesn't have all this pun. Okay pun, kan? Yeah, itu nasib lah kan. But it depends again. A lot of it is the context, the culture, and then the jurisdiction, and the economic, terrain that you operate in. For example, now, a lot of things mean differently in different jurisdictions. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. Ethics. I remember way back in 2008, I wrote an article redefining ethics and morality in marketing. Okay, so I started off by saying that if you look at ethics, okay, and morality means different things in different legal jurisdiction. A case in point, I give the example of euthanasia. Which means to say that if somebody is ill, sick, they are on the deathbed, and he's only alive because of a machine is making him alive. You switch off the machine, he's dead. Okay, in a sense, he's more or less already like a vegetable, brain dead. Now, in some countries, I think I'm not sure whether it's in Holland or in one of the European countries, it's okay. It's okay to switch off. You call that euthanasia, or you call it mercenary killing. But in some other countries, in Europe juga, okay, tak boleh. That's murder. That's manslaughter. Okay, you can be charged for manslaughter. So again, see, we're talking about is it an ethical thing to do? Is it ethical to take someone's life, or is it ethical to leave it and biar dia mati sendiri? So banyak persoalan dia. Okay, I haven't looked at another. Nanti kan banyak pula debate. I haven't looked at other consideration as well. You know, if you look at it from the religious standpoint, itu different discussion pula. Okay, let me move on. Vocal charisma takeaway. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that Emma said, and for after every 5 elements too, this is the takeaway. Okay, there are about 10 takeaways actually, but I'm just choosing 2 because saya tunjuk semua orang, nanti tak beli pula buku ni. Don't worry, I'm not promoting Emma, and I'm not getting any percentage from the royalty that she's getting. Okay, just to remind you that. Okay, the concept of a vocal landscape. The concept of a vocal landscape is a useful metaphor to remind you how much power you have over the way your ideas are formed in another person's mind. Okay? Vocal charisma. The other one is, if you barely open your mouth when you speak, it is difficult to let any emotion out. And emotion is how we connect and inspire others. Let's move on. Okay, the next takeaway, body language. What did she say? Be aware of your body position, where your arms are, how far back your shoulders are, because people will read it. Is it? Okay. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, you know. Oh, if I just, oh, ya ke? See, your shoulders, you know. Oh, ya ke? Bila tu? Dia cakap apa? Tu bila macam tu maknanya tengah dalam proses membawang tu. Okay. Gestures help your audience to anchor ideas in their memory as it tells a physical story. Use connection space to broaden your range and find new ways of dealing with difficult situations. Okay. When you're a leader, when you're a boss, take it from me, there will never be a moment at all that you do not deal with a difficult situation. Sure ada. Okay. Not today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, but sure ada. Okay. The social skill takeaway. To build a connection, it helps to match or move towards the energy of the person you are speaking with. Smiling is not necessarily suited to all situations, but you can always make your eyes warm and alive when smiling is not appropriate. Smile, okay? Smiling has a strong biological triggers in both the smiler and the receiver, and is therefore a powerful tool. Tak mahal. Smile is cheap, but janganlah smile lebih-lebih sangat. Smile, if you smile, over smile, you know, or smile too long, it becomes potent pula, you know, it becomes toxic. Nanti dia macam kerang busuk pula kan. Sengih tak bertempat. Okay. Okay, let me move on. Okay, what is the better presentation takeaway? Okay, make sure that your content includes a story and, if possible, some personal motivations or values. This will help build engagement with the audience. An antidote to nerves is good communication. Get your objective clear and focus on your audience. Okay. Let me move on. Better meetings takeaway. Okay. Know your core goals and for the meetings and stand by them. Plan for difficult questions. Always interject with something nice to create receptivity and show respect. So all these takeaways, actually banyak, about 9. Most of these, there are about 6 sessions. But they have about, as I said, I'm just picking out the best ones, you know, 3, but there are others as well. Well, it's not to say that they are not important, but I thought these are more relevant, and you know, I'm trying to manage the time here so that I cover the objective of what we want to achieve today. Okay. Okay, better argument takeaway. This is the last part, okay, of Emma Serlin's book. Breathing helps you move to the cerebral cortex and deal with angry impulses. Think about why you're annoyed, which values and needs are not being met. Whether you agree or disagree with the person who's on the attack, make sure to use empathy and acknowledgement before you state your position. That's very important. That's why you notice I put it in big orange here, empathy. Okay, this is an important trait, yeah? I repeat, that we should have. Okay, I think studies have shown, and I think it's a fact too, that women has more empathy than men. Kan? Empathy means you boleh meletakkan diri you tu kan, di dalam perasaan, you boleh appreciate macam mana orang tu melalui. Macam example kan, macam someone who is pregnant ke apa, nak beranak, kan, dia pun dah pernah pregnant, dia pernah beranak, dia tahu betapa sakit tu, so dia punya empathy level is higher, dia faham. Okay. Just as an illustration. Kalau ada violent objection kan, Fadlina, ni masa question and answer kan, boleh tembak saya. Okay, let me move on. Okay, so Emma Sterling has some conclusion. These are some of the things that she concluded. Okay, the first one, what to avoid in your speech, dia kata. Avoid you phrases in confrontation situations. Avoid too many I's in emails, social media, whatever. It makes you sound self-centered. I think, nowadays if you see in WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, without us realizing, most of us are self-centered. Anyway, I don't have an Instagram account. I have, but I don't use Instagram. Okay. I can be considered, you can put me under the cluster of self-centered juga. Pasal apa? I'm one of those who likes to selfie. Lepas ni nanti banyaklah selfie-selfie yang saya akan upload dalam Facebook saya. Okay, so in a sense, so I qualify under self-centered. Okay, avoid talking in interviews without knowing where you are going. Okay, avoid being a generalist and too safe. Okay, but sometimes when you want to be safe, you become a generalist. You don't become a specialist. Kalau specialist kan, become technical sekali kan, somebody tanya you tak boleh jawab kan, huara juga. So it's better to be general. That's how I look at it. But again, I leave it to you. Okay, what to avoid in your body? Okay, tidak sebut tadi. Avoid cross arm. Avoid slump shoulders. Avoid limb handshake. But now, okay, in the era of COVID, you're not supposed to have handshakes. Macam nak tumbuk. Hi, hello. Okay. Avoid breaking eye contact. Okay. Kalau you cakap dengan orang, tengok. Oh ya. Yeah. Oh ya. Tak dengar pun, tak pernah dengar pun. See, you don't break your eye contact. Okay, terima kasih. Tak apa, nanti saya akan tengok. Ada apa-apa saya akan bagi maklumat. Kalau ada dapat maklumat yang bagus. Atau saya dah ada break sikit eye contact. Shouldn't. I should always look at you and say that. Tak apa, I will get back to you with the necessary information. Thank you. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. Kita sambung lagi kemudian. See, eye contact. Very important. Okay. Avoid clenching your jaw, gritting your teeth or frowning. Hai, marah ke? Tidak. Marah ke? Taklah. I would agree. Okay, I'm just joking. Okay. Avoid fiddling in meetings or interviews. Again, it's like displaying your emotions on a projection screen. Okay, let me think. We all do that without us realizing. So we should now, okay, lepas ni, be a bit more conscious. Pay attention kalau bos ke cakap atau you nak cakap dengan orang bawahan you. Put everything aside, okay. Phone pun ini kalau cakap, ya ke? Oh, ya ke? Tak apalah. No, just put the phone down. Macam mana tu? Talking about body ni, okay, I just want to give an example, okay, of apa ni, some very powerful ways of some people in communicating with their subordinates. I won't mention where and whether it's public or private sector, but this is interesting. Excuse me. You know, in the private sector, there was I won't mention the big quite a big outfit. The CEO, this was told by my chap when he was working there. There was one guy who's always there in the morning, you know, at the door when you come. If you what do you call late, after 8, you'll be in trouble. He will always be there at the door watching you. In some other places, the boss will also be there, but he or she doesn't let you know. Cuma kalau you datang lambat, katakan datang setengah jam lambat, okay, and he or she gets to know you, what will happen is she will call you and says, Puan Hamidah, boleh tak masuk sekejap dekat office saya? Now, this what usually ni, this example ni, this real incident ni is a female boss. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that male bosses are better than female bosses. Okay, sama aja. They have their own idiosyncrasy. Dia ada kalau orang jantan ni dia tak kisah, dia lebih kurang cicai je. But women generally they are very meticulous and they are very particular. They're very process oriented, and that's why in my 40 years I noticed some of the good things. When we had a meeting, we will say no, this one we have to put lady, because you know why? Kalau letak orang jantan ni kan dia lebih kurang kan. Tak mana bilang, tak tahu tengok lepas meeting masuk bilik, tengok dah tak ada. You know what? Semua dah pergi main golf. But the women, no. They are more conscientious and they are very particular. But sometimes they overdo it. This is another example. Okay. So the staff yang datang lambat ni pergi masuk bilik tu and duduk kat depan tu, and then she will say, duduk. And this is what she will say. I don't know whether you pernah kena tak, I tell you, tapi kalau kena ni, memang macam dia tikam ke dalam hati, menusuk kalbu. It's like a being kena tikam dengan sword. She will look at you, she will smile. She says, Puan Hamidah, saya nak tanya sikit, boleh? Boleh. You dah tahu kan, you lambat tadi. You know what she will say? Kita dekat sini start kerja pukul berapa ya? That's all. Dia tak payah cakap banyak. Dengan muka senyum dia cakap, kita dekat sini start kerja pukul berapa ya? That's it. See? Communication, imagine how powerful the communication is. But effective. Tak payah datang dengar saya cakap pun. Memang orang lain semua memang kelang kabut. Kalau apa-apa dia cakap memang dengar punya. Okay, let me finish this. Dah habis je? Saya dah melarat daripada projection screen tu, daripada melarat bagi contoh. Okay, let me move on. What to avoid in your voice? Avoid speaking at the pace of your thoughts, which is bound to be too fast, which is exactly what happened to me. I've been speaking, but there were so many things in my head that I wanted to share with you, so it's faster than my slides. Okay. Avoid a monotone. Avoid long, complicated sentences. Avoid making all words equal. Avoid mumbling or under-articulating, and avoid speaking with your mouth bare open. Those were the 3 conclusions that Emma Selin put in her book. Okay, cantik, sedang elok. Now we have the 4th puzzle. A detective who was mere days away from cracking an international oil smuggling ring has suddenly gone missing. While inspecting his last known location, officers find a note. 710-577-3535-5508-517718. Currently, there are 3 suspects, Bill, John, and Todd. Okay. Can you break the detective's code and find the criminal's name? Victor? Ada yang lain? Syahida? Dia, Ashraf? This is good.
Very difficult one, this one. Very difficult.
Anyone? Oh, that means ini tak boleh jadi cannot work in PDRM lah, in criminal investigation lah.
Yeah lah, cannot.
Cannot work as in cyber security. Cannot work so you cannot crack away all the cyber troopers
Yeah.
Okay. Ashraf, are you still there? Macam mana?
Still thinking, Prof.
Okay. Still trying to crack the code. But it's very interesting. I like this.
Still trying to be Sherlock Holmes.
Maybe the ladies might be better at this, man.
I think so. The ladies are good at it. The ladies should be good.
Natural numbers. Not net.
Yeah. Fadrina, Syahida, Prof Rosna, are you there?
Rosna.
Prof Rosna?
Yeah. She's very good.
This is too complicated.
I thought you mean this is the first time you are seeing it? You tak pernah tengok lagi?
Nak break the code.
Cannot break the code. Anyone? Siapa yang boleh break the code ni, saya belanja salt beef sandwich dekat KLCC.
Okay.
Tetapi unfortunately Victor, I was there yesterday. They closed down the outlet lah. Alamak.
Ayo.
It's beside Nyonya in front of Nando's, beside Nyonya Colors. They used to have this London sandwich. My favorite. It's because whenever I'm in London, I will never miss to stop by at Selfridges and look for their salt beef. So now in Malaysia we have a few places. There's one more in Bangsa. Maybe we try the one in Bangsa.
Yeah. Okay, fine. No problem.
So anyone has broken the code? Tak ada Okay lah. Atau dah penat dengan saya membil dan lepas tu nak kena break code pula. Okay, I give you the answer. Now, this is the answer. Jeng. Bill is the suspect. If you read upside down, the numbers read Bill is boss. Number tu kan, you turn upside down. Nampak tak? B-I-L-L. Bill is boss. He, sell, S-E-L-L-S, sells oil, O-I-L. Anyone saw that?
Yeah, I saw it. Good one.
Good, Okay, Ashraf. Okay. All right. Now, let me come to this. Is my favorite story. This is from the book by a very renowned Harvard lady professor. Saya lupa nama dia. In her book, she wrote about the challenge of organizational change. Since this is part of the program or leadership, quite interesting. Okay, this is important because how cooking was discovered. According in that book, she wrote. According to an old English writer by the name of Charles Lamb, more than 100 years ago, he was describing how life was in old England. That people live in thatch house like this, and with all their domestic animals downstairs, and then they live upstairs. And then one day, there was a festival. There was a feast in another village. So all the village folk went to that village, the next village. Then when they got home after the feast, one of these houses in the village caught fire and everything was burned, including the domestic animals. You have all the chickens, the lambs, the goats, the cows, all over burned. And then they were trying to salvage as much as they can. And everything was smoking away. And then the villagers were poking their fingers. And one of them apparently accidentally poked his finger in the dead carcass of a sheep. Okay, and it was hot, so he took it out, and put it in the mouth. And then voila, she found that it had a great taste. So according to what Charles Lamb wrote, voila, it seems they have discovered cooking. Okay, so from there onwards, when the village folks wants to have a feast, you know what they do? They took a sheep, choose a house, put the sheep into the house, and burn the cottage. Okay. So that's what they did. Okay. Now, according to the Harvard lady professor, I'm trying to remember her name. I have forgotten her name. Let me see. I'm trying to look for the book. The Challenge of Organizational Change. Ni dia. Sekejap. Okay. Thank God. I found the book. I'm trying to find the name. Yeah. Rosabeth Moss-Kenter. What do you call one of those few lady Harvard professors, okay? Rosabeth Moss-Kenter, The Challenge, in the old book, The Challenge of Organizational Change. So this story was inside this. It's interesting about change management. There's a moral behind the story, which relates to leadership, which relates to change management in organizations. Okay, now, from the story, the learning, the management, the leadership learning, or the parable is this. Okay, if you don't know how the sheep gets cooked, you are going to be wasting hell of a lot of houses. So, from that little parable, that little story about how cooking was discovered, you need to be mindful about understanding, okay? So that you need to know the process. Is there a better way of doing it? Or you just know one way of doing it, and then you keep doing it, and you don't realize that you are wasting. Nampak? Okay. You just have to find some wood, you know, and then what do you call, maybe dig in the sand, and do some experiment, and the sheep will be cooked as good or probably even better. This one, no. You find a house, or put the sheep inside the house, and you burn the cottage just to get that sheep with the, you know, the good taste that one of the village folk got. So that was the learning. Okay, she used that parable to remind people who are in change management, especially because we do that. Okay, as leaders, we do that all the time. There has to be a lot of change management. You cannot stay static. Everything is mobile. Everything is what you call it. You need to keep up with the times as well. And I think that is even more demanding now. Okay, so the word is the latest word is anyone can tell? The current buzzword is innovation, and you need to innovate. Okay,
Prof, I was just thinking, means letting go of sort of old techniques is important. So improve, you need to let go, I think, isn't it? That's what you're saying, I think.
No, you need to look at new ways of doing things.
Let go of old ways.
Most important, I think what Professor Rosabeth Moss-Kenter was trying to say is that let go of the old way, which is no, it's not economical. You know, it's going to be something that is wasteful. So let go and then start looking at new things. I think that's a message. You're right, Victor.
Because we can't let go, we can't take on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
thanks for reminding.
But the problem is, Victor, most of us are still in the old way of thinking. We don't want to let go. We're comfortable.
It's comfortable, It's comfortable then.
Like me too, I'm comfortable with the way that I was doing it before. I won't want to change it. But now I have to adapt. For example, like you know, I went to an IT. This is again my favorite story. I went to an IT conference. You know, they send you invitation. They are all on QR code, right? So it could just be on the phone. So I, you know, being an old timer, printed, you know, on my Gmail. So I printed the whole page, you know, of the attendance. So when I was going to register, I took out the paper and I said, and then a friend of mine who was with me, Gen Y, Gen Y and not yet Gen Z lah, but Gen Y lah. And this is what the person looked at me and said, what? You just have to use your phone and show the QR code and that's it, the register. Are you going to show that printed paper at the counter? If you're going to do that, I'm not going to walk with you. Oh my God, I felt so old, Victor. Until today, I still remember. I felt so ancient. And so much so now, when I thought of that, now, you know, when you go to places, you just have to show your QR code, right? So yesterday, when I was KLCC, I had a field day. Whenever then you have this QR code, so I'll take out my camera and then. But before that, okay, I just want to share with you. A bit embarrassing, but this is true story. I first started learning it when I first boarded the LRT at Glen Mary yesterday. As I was going, I paid for my ticket, and then I met two young guys, young Gen Z. Yeah? So I said, "Excuse me, can you show me how to use this?" I was showing my Samsung Note 8. Then he said, "Okay, just open your camera," and then he showed me. He just click, and then something will come out. And then when I hear him talk, he's from the Middle East, so I think he's a Syrian, an Iraqi, or Iranian. Two boys. Then he was on the same LRT with me. So when I already learned how to do it, I was excited. So as soon as I arrived at KLCC, everywhere I see, you know, instead of writing your name and writing your what do you call mobile number, you just have to show your phone, just get the QR. Okay. So I learned something new. Yesterday.
Your new toy, yeah.
Okay. Let me move on. Let me see whether there's any more joke or not. Any more stories. Okay. So I'm almost towards the end now. Okay. I just wanted to share with you this. Okay. Today's young people differ from yesterday's. When you communicate, okay, effective communication will mean that you need to know who you're dealing with. You need to know who you're talking with, because different age group, they respond differently. They look at things differently. The perception of the environment, of life, and stuff are different. Okay, let's quickly take a look. Okay, at the baby boomer. So we look at the context, the behavior, and the consumption. Okay, I got this from McKinsey. Okay, now baby boomer, 1940 to 59. That's our age. That's our group, Victor. Prof Rosna, Gen Y kan? Prof. Just testing.
She's Gen Y. She looks young, so she's Gen Y lah.
Post-war, okay. Dictatorship and repression in Brazil. Okay. Lepas tu behavior, idealism, revolutionary. Okay. Collectivist. Consumption, ideology, vinyl and movies. Some of the video shops already kan all pun dah tutup. Remember we have all those dah tutup lah. Okay. Now Gen X, 1960 to 79, and I always like to refer Gen X as well, the lost generation. And baby boomers ni, there's one word I want to use. I describe them. I call them recalcitrant. Okay, look at the context of Gen X: political transition, capitalism, and meritocracy dominate. And then behavior, materialistic, competitive, individualistic. Of course, not everyone is like that, but generally they're like that. I'm sure there are some Gen X who will challenge that. Okay. Consumption, status, brand and cars, luxury articles. So these are the Gen X group. Then you look at the Gen Y, the millennials, born between 1980 and 1994. So the one who actually just now to go and then scolded me, and if you use that paper, I'm not going to work with you. Gen Y, I think Gen Y. Okay. From the context, globalization, economic stability, emergence of the internet. Okay, and then from the behavior, globalist, questioning, oriented to self. Okay, very self-centered, oriented to self. Okay. Lantak lah korang kan, kau ada. So it's me first. Okay. Now, consumption, experience, festivals, and travel, and flagship. Betul. Gen Y ni, they like to travel. Okay. And then you look at Gen Z, 1995 to 2010. Okay. The context apa dia? Mobility and multiple realities, social networks, digital natives. Okay. So tadi apa yang cakap? Baby boomers, I say recalcitrant. Gen X, I say lost generation. Gen Y, what do you call? I would say brutal. No. what was it I described? And then Gen Z ni, there was a word I used, I forgot. Okay, to describe generally. Okay. Undefined, communaholic, dialoguer, realistic. Okay. And their consumption, uniqueness, unlimited, and ethical. I like what about Gen Z ni is they seem to pay more attention to ethics. They appear to be more ethical. They want you to be they want you to know the truth. Okay. They like you to be open and transparent. This is the features of Gen Z. Okay. Let me give. Is there any interesting story that I can share with you when it regards to communication? Nanti kan saya ceritakan ada pula Gen Z yang marah saya pula kan. But my favorite story about Gen Z ni is about male and female. So normally what happens if the guy or the girl baru get to know a guy among Gen Z. Sorry dia marah saya kan. What happens is the female will tell the male, the potential boyfriend, all her boyfriends. So for example, if she has 5 boyfriends, she will mention all the 5 names. Ahmad, Victor, Ashraf, stuff like that, semua disebut. So then the guy will like listen, okay. And then of the 5 names that she mentions, 3 of the guys too are his friends. So, oh my God. Alamak. Okay. But that's what tadi tu. Ethical, transparent, telling the truth. So in other words, later you can't go around and say, hey, you didn't tell me. So she's just being honest. Okay. She tells you all the names. Now, then don't forget, this is me, this is how I interpret it. I said, I told some friends, I said, don't forget, I tell the boys, okay, the guy, I said, you better be careful. When she tells you all the names of the boyfriend, after she finished, you know what she expects? She expects you to tell her all your girlfriends. Okay? Victor? So, you have to tell her. Okay? I'm sure it is the behavior today, isn't it? The guy sees the partner's phone, and the partner sees the the partner's also phone. So they share. Transparent, isn't it? Nothing to hide. Okay. So if you hide and don't show your phone, then they're suspicious. Oh, is something you're not showing me your phone. Is there something you're hiding? So I was telling you, I was making a joke. I tell the boy, when the girl tells you all her former boyfriends to you, after that, she expects you to tell all your girlfriends' name to her. But good luck, I said, if you want to take the risk, because all you need to do is mention one girl's name. That's the end of the conversation.
You got, Prof,
she'll get up. Yeah, she'll get up.
Yeah, if you got 10, you tell only 5 lah.
No. You don't have to tell. You have to tell only one. Before
one. Okay, all right.
You just have to tell one. Before you finish even telling her name, okay, your ex-girlfriend, she will already get up and say, okay, bye. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. Maybe that has happened. We have to ask the ladies. Because, okay, I'm done with that. To give you, my point is, you have to understand the different generations so that for you to be a good leader. So if you're a baby boomer and if you're still in power, if you're still running an organization, you need to understand how you need to be able to communicate and to connect with the Gen Z, Y and Z. I give you a simple good example. I was with a former LHDN DG, Tan Sri Mafa, okay? And he told me, before he retired, when he was in LHDN, there are a lot of new, interesting, innovative stuff, initiative that was done at in income tax, Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri. And he told me, he said, Din, I didn't do anything. I just let the Gen Z, the Gen Y and the Gen Z do. You see, this group of people, you jangan kacau dia. They are very creative, they are very innovative. You give them the space, let them do. And they've done a lot of wonders. But the only thing is, and the other thing that the baby boomers, the Gen X must also understand is, they orang ni very sensitive. You tell them no Twitter, no Facebook, no WhatsApp, siap. Tomorrow they will resign. And if somebody else in another organization offer them $50 more, they will go. simply because you do not allow them basic things like, you cannot check the, you cannot do Instagram, you cannot check your Facebook, you cannot tweet or whatever it is during working hours. Those are the things that are very, very important to them. You try to stop them, that's it. Tomorrow they will leave. Mark my words. I've seen many like that. So you need to understand them. So this is the final, the crux of my being effective in your communication. You need to understand the groups that you are dealing with in order for you to communicate and connect well. Inshallah, if you know all this and you are mindful of all this, you should be a great leader when the time comes. So that's my final. Sedang elok 11:40 dah. So we got about like 20 minutes for some of you who may have violent objections, who wants to ask me. Okay, just to share some of the quote, share my face again. Don't worry about what people say behind you, your back. They are the people who are finding faults in your life instead of fixing the faults in their own life. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
I am done. That's my number. Okay. And now I will hand back. Fadina, saya serahkan balik majlis kepada Cik Fadina. How do I exit this? Ke nak biarkan aja?
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for the fruitful session. Thank you for the fruitful sharing session.
Okay.
Okay, any question from the audience? Ada soalan tak daripada peserta?
Dia letih kot dengar saya banyak membebel. Lepas tu kena perah otak tadi, ada puzzle-puzzle lagi sikit.
Prof, Victor again. Just quick comment. I noticed I like your gen analysis. I find the Gen Y and the Z, they're pretty good at content knowledge, and skills.
Yeah,
Whereas
right.
people like you and me, we are baby boomers probably, and we are probably quite good at context, and
Yes.
that's why the stories you tell make a lot of meaning, because we help them by making sure that the content is fitted properly to the context.
Right.
And we need the content knowledge too, because we learn from them the IT and all that kind of thing, I think the three generations can work very well together if we are aware of this context and content focus that we have separately. Because the last 30 years, IT content has developed so fast that people like me, you find it difficult to get in terms with, and we can really get help from them. What are your views on that?
Absolutely, because you know why? It's interesting because technology has evolved, and then over the last 30 years, I remember those days. Remember when we were working those days?
Yes. I remember.
Most of our generation are not IT literate. They are scared. You leave everything, you call the IT guy, and then if you're the boss, you don't even know how to open your computer. Can't even check your emails. Everything is done by your secretary.
Yeah, they're scared.
But now I notice a lot of our generation that have retired, suddenly they become IT expert. They're such an expert on the smartphone. They can check the email, they are doing wonders. So which means to say that if you keep abreast with knowledge, if you exercise your brain, there are a lot of new skills that you can learn pretty fast. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm still learning.
So am I. I'm learning every day.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. I got to go now. See you again, with Prof. Zah.
I will see you with Prof. Zawawi.
Sure, definitely. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, take care.
Ada siapa-siapa lagi nak komen? Ashraf?
Anyone from UNM?
Prof.
Yeah.
My very simple question lah. Katakan being a leader, head of the department ke, being the dean ke, ni kita academic institution kan?
Right.
So kita sebagai pemimpin, di bawah kita ada macam-macam gen di bawah tu. That gen tu come from maybe baby boomers sampai kepada gen Y, Z. Student kita also lagi advance. Dia generasi 90-an tahun 2000 mungkin. So kita ada diverse people come from diverse background, exposures,
diverse generation, diverse background. Okay.
Yeah, knowledge mungkin berbeza. Kalau kita being the leader, mungkin the academic achievement tu sampai level professor. Tapi yang bawah lagi itu mungkin beginner. So how to manage these different people from diverse, kita kata characteristic, the background, academic achievement, literacy, computer. How to manage this being a leader to be efficient?
Okay, as I said earlier on tadi, you need to know who you are dealing with. Okay, if you know that someone is high level, that advanced, and then you have to give them due respect and communicate accordingly. And if you know that someone is beginner, very basic, belum sampai tahap lagi, not the professor level atau not at the doctorate level, you janganlah communicate dengan dia, sama. So you need to do that. To me, that's very important. You maybe sometimes we don't realize it. Kita dah biasa kan, cakap with different level, high level. So cakap dengan orang beginner at high level, dia macam selenga kan. Mata pun tak faham. Kan? So that's why I bagi simple example tadi. Even at some high level people, if you are already at high level, you are already highly qualified, and then you are already in positions of authority. If I were to do it lah, communicate in a simple language. Go to the level. Even if the people they want to have the PhD ke DBA ke ada professor ke apa, you want to communicate with them respect them as a person, and then guna bahasa mudah. I think they will appreciate you more. Kalau you nak nanti kan setengah orang, you nampak dia senyum depan, tapi kat belakang kata, alah, dia nak show off mentang-mentang dia ada profesor kan, mentang-mentang dia ada PhD kan, kan turunlah sikit, cakaplah dalam bahasa mudah, bahasa simple, kan macam sekarang kan, especially now. Generation sekarang semua kan, pasal menteri pun suruh guna TikTok. Itu maknanya kan kita tengok macam budak muda sekarang kan, macam dia mengurat tu. Betul zaman-zaman saya dulu lain style. Sekarang ni dia mengurat, dia banyak punchline dia banyak. I bagi simple example kan. Dia pergi kat kaunter tu, dekat kata counter reception tu, dia kata boleh tak tunjuk kat mana nak pergi ke bilik mesyuarat. Lepas tu dia kata, cik pergi depan ni, masuk kanan terus, bilik yang kedua, itu dia bilik mesyuarat. Dia orang semua ada kat situ. Lepas tu mamat ni nak ngurat receptionist tu Chun. Tu orang sekarang mesti kan. Lepas tu dia kata, lepas tu ada satu lagi, apa pula cik kata, boleh tak cik tunjuk, tadi cik dah tunjuk saya jalan nak pergi ke bilik mesyuarat. Saya nak tahu pula macam mana, boleh tak tunjuk jalan untuk pergi ke hati you. Nanti dia pun gelak, you pun gelak, dia pun gelak. Tak pasal-pasal dah kan kawan tu dah jatuh hati kat dia. Tu orang sekarang, style sekarang mengurat. Gelak ya. Kenapa dia gelak? Your generation lah kot. Gelak je. Okay, so that's no, seriously, but that's how you need to be aware. This is very important. Be aware macam dulu saya ingat, saya pergi kat UKM dulu, my friend Prof Fauzi was the dean. So I pergi jumpa dia selalu kan, lepas tu dah tengok kat bilik dia kan, file banyak. Meeting ni berapa susun. Meeting ni, dia kata, Zee, apa ni banyak sangat meeting? Jangan babe. Ni semua important. All these files very important. Ni UKM okay? Ni semua ni important mesyuarat ni. Lepas tu kan, jangan aku kena tengok ni, kena make sure bila pergi mesyuarat, semua profesor, especially dia orang sensitif, semua mesti kena panggil. Setengah tu dah jadi dean, dah jadi TNC ke apa, jadi dekan. So bila pergi mesyuarat, dia orang sensitif, kena jemput. Kalau tertinggal, mampu aku kena nanti. Sampai hari ni saya ingat. So, Bakri, learn from that. It's very important that you give respect to especially yang otak-otak yang generasi ni, yang baby boomers. Dia orang lagi sensitif, bro. Jangan ingat kalau jadi dean ke, jadi dekan ke, jadi TNC, you kena ingat semua, especially yang belum. Lepas tu dia orang ni kan macam January, dia nampak macam gelak-gelak, okay tak apa, it's okay Prof. Hey, dekat belakang, Ni orang muda-muda ni kan tak nak jadi dekan ni kan, ada mesyuarat dia lupa aku kan. Aku pernah pegang jawatan. They tak cakap you, but that's how they will react. Take it from me.
Indirect.
You have to understand the possibility of how they react. Then when they look at your face, they know whether you're genuine or not, whether you memang betul, pay attention to that. So that's why the facial expression, body language is very important. Communication
Thank you, Prof.
not just verbal, dan bahasa tu important. Jangan gunakan bahasa kasar. One word dekat sampai bila-bila dia ingat je bro. Dia dah pencen pun dia ingat. Ini ni Profesor Bakri ni dulu kan, masa aku dulu kan, aku jadi staff dia dulu kan, dia gunakan satu perkataan ni memang pantang perkataan aku. Dia gunakan. Things like that. I think very important. But if you use the right word, bila pencen pun dia ingat. Saya ingat masa dulu ni kan, there was one word that he used kan, sampai hari ni saya ingat. Saya dah terharu. You should be able to live something like that. Because saya dah pencen, I know. Because my people, to me, okay, this is another one I'm sharing with you. The real test of a good leader, whether you're a good dekan or whether you're good to NCVC, bila kau dah pencen. Kau tengok bila kau dah tak pegang jawatan tu, kawan-kawan kau ada lagi tak? People still call you or not? Dia respect you because they respect the position, the power. Kau pegang jawatan semuanya, ya bos, ya Datuk, ya Tan Sri, cuba kau dah tak pegang jawatan tu, tengok whether they still call you for a drink or not. Whether bila kau pergi Giant ke mana-mana ke, kat parking lot dia nampak dia jauh, dia datang, Datuk, Prof, kau dah pencen. It's very important, ingatlah young man, you remember that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prof.
Okay. My pleasure. Ada lagi komen-komen?
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Salam. Ya.
Saya Haslinda daripada UM. Okay, I have one question. Or maybe Datuk can share with us some tips. How we want or what we should do if we were in unfit organization. Unfit. We have like some tips. What we should do if we think that we were in the unfit organization.
I think what you're trying to say is what should you do if you think that you are not fit? If you are not fit being there, is that what you mean?
Yes. Do you have some tips? Just want to know your opinion.
Okay, you think that you're not fit there?
No, I'm fit in the UM, but I just want to know. Sometimes.
You feel the person feel that they are not fit there. Okay, so what do you do? Okay, very simple. Okay, there are two ways to look at it. Number one is berhentilah. Kau rasa kau tak sesuai, apa hal kau nak seksa diri kau duduk kerja situ? Cari tempat lain yang kau rasa kau sesuai. But let me tell you, tak ada tempat kalau you feel you're unfit there, pergi mana-mana pun sama, you will still feel unfit. Okay? It's about you. What do? You kena cakap pada diri you, how can I fit into this place? Kenapa I rasa I don't fit well? Adakah sesuatu yang kerja yang I tak suka? Adakah orang-orang yang I tak suka? So you have to change that. When you know that, this is personal assessment. So ni nasihat saya. Tak ada orang yang not fit to be where they are. You have to adjust, learn something new, be humble, and then make sure orang sayang you. You dalam skrip mata, you will be fit where you are. Take it from me. Banyak dah saya dah perhati macam tu. Cuma kadang-kadang kita ni ego tinggi kan. Kadang-kadang kan we are ego kita ni 3 kali besar daripada badan kita ni. So our ego makes us think, I think I'm not fit here lah. Banyak faktor-faktor tu. I don't know, because you suruh I bagi general kan. Banyak faktor-faktor yang menyebabkan you rasa you are not fit there. I'm not saying you lah, kan you pun dah cakap tadi kan. But there are people who rasa there. But if you as a boss, rasa certain people are not fit there, you must tell the person why you think he's not fit there. Apa kekurangan dia? Apa kelebihan dia? Apa gap dia? And as a leader, it is your job to bring him or her to the level so that dia boleh, he can become fit. They are fit to be there where they are. That's the least you could do as a leader. And to me, that's a mark of a good leader. Because kalau you tengok GE, as an example, GE sekarang, dia tidak lagi buat appraisal tu cukup tahun kan? Your strength, your weaknesses, dia tak buat lah. GE all over the world, there are 30 big multinational corporations who has moved away with year-end appraisal. Okay, you pun tak suka kan? Dia cukup tahun jumpa bos kan? Dia akan cakap you, okay, ni kekuatan you, ni kelemahan you, okay, and then lepas tu kan, you pula nanti tanya dia, what do you think of me? You don't like it kan? Kalau anak buah you comment you kan, benda-benda yang tak bagus kan? So, General Electric, one of the top 30 huge corporation in the world, they move away with that. Bila dia ambil sesuatu bekerja, dia macam seolah-olah dia mengambil sesuatu batu yang kotor diselaput oleh tanah liat atau lumpur, dia akan bawa, dia akan bersihkan, gilapkan you, jadikan you bagus. So from you are at this level, that it is the job of the organisation to bring you to that level. So that is the thinking of quite a lot of organisation kat luar. So pada saya, I rasa you patut as a management university, you pun patut adopt macam tu cara dia. Maknanya you tengok orang tu ada kelemahan, it is your responsibility as a leader to help him, coach, mentor dan sebagainya. Kadang orang malas kan, engkau dah pandai kan, engkau dah ada masters kan, dah ada PhD kat US, kat UK, kau patut datang kerja, patut bagus. No, dia kadang-kadang perlu menyesuaikan diri di dalam persekitaran baru. Kalau untuk orang mereka yang dah lama dekat situ, it is your job, okay, to make him feel at home. And then barulah the teamwork. Ini pendapat saya from my experience dahulu dan juga apa yang saya perhatikan sekarang ni banyak. Especially very important to the young people. Okay? Kalau you straight away kata tu pasal, you know why I say all this? Because saya baru baca tahap kemurungan dalam dunia ni dah meningkat dengan COVID apa semua ni lagi lah. Dan you rasa I don't fit in, I rasa macam I'm not fit here. Banyak orang rasa bila orang cakap macam tu kat you, itu dah satu tanda-tanda dia ada melalui simptom-simptom awal kemurungan, depression. So as a boss, as a leader, you need to help send it. Kalau sekiranya nampak macam lain macam aja, so pergi jumpa, I'm sure you ada banyak psychiatrist, psychologist. Macam dulu kalau jumpa psychiatrist kan straight away orang kata, dia ni ada gila sikit. Tapi sekarang dah okay. All over the world, if you see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, which means to say you have some mental health problem and that needs help. So it is okay. Itu pendapat off the cuff saya. Dr. Azlinda, okay tak? Are you listening to me?
Thank you very much, Dato'.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Very good one. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, ada apa-apa lagi? Fadina, ada lagi? Oh, lagi 5 minit dah, pukul 12. Okey. Saya bimbang sebenarnya masa saya ada prepare slide tu, saya takut 2 jam saya dipanggil bercakap, saya tak boleh nak cover apa benda yang patut. So I was thinking whether, because some of this I think many of you kan pun dah lebih terror daripada saya kan on communication. You probably teach the subject or you probably have got training program kan, conducting programs on communication. So saya tak nak lah, I don't want to bore you, okay. So that's why I took the other route, I took the other approach. Saya bagi big picture overview, crystallize principles, practice. Lepas tu I share with you my experiences, both corporate, DLC dan sebagainya. Tak ada lah ya? Dah letih ya dengan saya berbebel So that's it. Kalau dah tak ada saya serahkan balik kepada Fazlina pun lagi 5 minit tu dah nak pukul 12. Saya ingin my parting word is that good luck, okay, uphold UUM ni masih tetap di hati saya kerana saya dalam board of advisory OYA for 3 term masa zaman Azizi dulu, Datuk Azizi dulu masa dia Dean, dan masa your KP sekarang ni Datuk Seri Mus. So 3 tahun saya kat situ. So in fact banyak meeting-meeting yang dia orang panggil saya pun banyak komen dalam subjek-subjek yang dia offer. Ni apa ni, saya kata subjek ni 30 tahun dulu masa saya buat pun masih guna title ni. Saya gunakan topik-topik yang latest, yang current ni kan, especially management, leadership dan sebagainya. Kan banyak tengok apa ada universiti saya doing dan sebagainya. So senyum tengok-angguk dia orang bila saya komen. So maybe after that dia orang tak panggil saya kot. Pasal dia kata orang tua ni banyak nak komen dia. Okay, I thank you. Sebelum saya akhiri, sekali lagi saya ingin menyusun jadi 10. Memohon maaf kalau ada sebarang komen dan sebagainya. Slide saya yang a bit offensive ke, yang inappropriate, yang tak elok tu semuanya datang dari saya. Yang baik-baik tu semua, yang indah-indah tu semua tu datang daripada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Dan sekali lagi ya, saya mengucapkan banyak terima kasih. Thank you for listening to me. Saya membebel dekat 2 jam. Saya serahkan balik ya pada Faz. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih banyak Prof. Selamat Hari Raya Aidiladha Prof.
Sama. Selamat Raya Aidiladha pada semua ya. Okay ya, I can leave now ya.
Okay, Prof. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much Prof.
Okay. Assalamualaikum, selamat Hari Raya.
Salam. Ikut 11.